Glenda Johnson. I decided to come to RTC to study to be a medical assistant, and I joined through the Trade Act. I was a former Boeing employee, and RTC is close to my home, but also it was excellently rated, so that's why I decided to come here. My first quarter here was just basically getting back into school, and it was general classes, so it wasn't very, it really dealt a lot with the degree that I had had before, so it wasn't that much challenging. But when I moved into the medical assistant, it's much more technical and much more intense. And as I got into that program, I realized, wow, I am really struggling. And at first I just thought, I'm stupid. And then I thought to myself, wait a second, you know, there's got to be something I can do. So I reached out to Karma and Brenda and had a meeting with both of them, and that really was the start of the process of how I succeeded. I hadn't heard of Irlen syndrome before, but as a child I was diagnosed as dyslexic. What I learned from the information that they gave me was the two are really intertwined with one another. Irlen's has to do with how we as people process visual images, and that everybody sees differently. And those of us that do have what they call visual processing errors, through the use of filters that can be put into eyeglasses, we can have a correction that helps our brain see better, and therefore it takes a lot of the stress out of learning and seeing. That it just makes life so much simpler. The process was really interesting. Again, I kind of walked into this, you know, I read the literature and I thought, I wasn't a real, like, I'm thinking, I'm a scientist by training, I'm thinking, well, I'm really, but I did have this screening with her, and it was amazing. It was about an hour and a half to 2 hour screening. There was lots of components. At times it was like really challenging. It was like, I'm not seeing this. But then all of a sudden it was like, yes, I saw this. And what she was able to do is that she was able to give me some what they call page filters. And they're basically colored sheets of acetate that you put over the text. And again, I was kind of like, okay. I took them home and it was amazing. My medical assisting text is very glary, and I would put these over the top, and before I would like do this to get my answers, I'd open the book, read, shut the book, because it was so uncomfortable for me to like read at a constant pace or read anything. It was just, my eyes were bugging me. I was able to take those filters and I was able to read a chapter at a time, and that was not happening before. I'm not saying that my grades went up anymore, but it was so much easier for me to process the material and get through it and not feel like, wow, I want to scratch my eyeballs out at the end of the day. So that was a great thing. And I also had an additional problem when I was in the classroom. We did a lot of overhead work with the lights off and this really bright screen. And believe me, after 4 hours of taking notes, again, my eyes were killing me. And I had talked with Brenda about, you know, the filters and that stuff. And she says, you know, really the filters might help you with the overhead and helping you take notes more efficiently. Because I do things like, I'd know what he'd said, and I'd see it up there, but I was constantly going like this because I couldn't take notes and keep where it was on the overhead and trying to keep my notes straight. And you look at my notes, I was like, wow, this is not great. So I went in for the assessment, and again, I was totally, I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna go for this, but I don't believe in this. I just don't. And to be truthful, I mean, it's not cheap. It was like $300. I don't know exactly how much it was. But I went into her office and she sat me down and explained the process. And again, it was like 2-hour process. And we tried different things and different colors, and by the way, I am wearing the Airlines now. And my color, and so we went out and tried them, and her comment to me was, "You are very glare sensitive." And I thought to myself, what does she mean? So we finally came out with a color. We went down in the parking lot. It was a bright, bright sunny day, and every time before it was like, I had auto grays, and they would change, but my eyes still hurt. I mean, my eyes still hurt. I took these filters that we had agreed on, took them out there, broad daylight, sunny, had those out, and looked out for the first time, and it was just like my eyes just went, ah. And I've never looked back. I was getting so wrapped up with, trying to keep up in class and keep up with my studies and trying to get all the reading done, that I think that Erlen's really helped that. But I'm going to give a shout out that I also had some really one-on-ones with Karma, and that I really think made some real difference. That's really changed my perspective in a lot of things outside of school too. I mean, the big one, don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff, but really just being able to say, go in, be the best person you can be, and you're going to succeed in the long run. You have to put in your part, but you've got some people that you can come back to and say, hey, I'm having problems with X or Y or Z, and they'll help you out. But I really want to get back to the community, and that's what I'm looking to do. Whether it's medical assisting, or I taught in a former life, or helping out other people. I just want to have people succeed when they can succeed.